Well, hello there folks, and welcome back to this premiere video with the Whiskey Friend with me, Alan. The reason I've decided to do this premiere tonight is I've got quite a few things that I want to discuss. So it may be a wee bit longer video than I normally take. I'm set up for the night. I'm in no rush, I'm in no hurry. I've got plenty of time. So anyone who's not got as much time in their hands, feel free, pop it on pause, go and do what you've got to do and come back and watch it later. But again, in today's video guys, I'm going to discuss a few things. I'm going to uncork a very, very special bottle today. I'll come back to that later on. I'm not going to review a whiskey today. I'm drinking one. I might drink a few, depending on how time goes. At the minute, I'm on this Glengoyne 21. Looking forward to that. Got my trusty glass of water because I think this is going to be a while. So, also on tonight's show, I've got a really, really special giveaway. Gave away a little gift pack last month, and that went off to Svetsvar in Estonia. He was chuffed with that, so I've decided to do another one this month. This one is equally as special. It's going to have 5 samples in it. I'll come back again what the 5 samples are going to be. My special bottle that I'm going to open tonight will be one of those samples. I'm actually going to give away 3 giveaways, potentially 3 giveaways. This will give you a rough idea here. I've got a pack. I'm going to give away a bit of this at the minute. Let's see if I can open these up. So at the minute, I've got it ready. I'm going to do 5 samples. I've got 3 already poured. The 4th one will be my special whiskey, and then the 5th one I'm going to pop something nice in there just to make up the 5. It's just that the box came with 5 samples. I did plan to give away 4, but the box comes with 5. So, in the motto of the channel, the pleasure is in the sharing, then I'm going to share some whiskey. As I say, I've got 2 definite to give away, and there's potential for a 3rd one. So you'll have to hang on or come back later on to decide how we're going to do this. As I say, I'll come back to that later. But the main topic of tonight's video was that I've obviously done a few reviews recently. I've done some subscriber sample swaps and I've reviewed those. So I was looking for things just to push the channel boundaries a wee bit further, and I had planned to go through whiskies regarding the different regions, different cask types. I was planning on doing that. I'm still going to do that, and I'll do each region one at a time over the next few videos. But with this, as the more I researched it, then the more came out, and the big question I kept asking myself is, how do I buy whiskey? How do I make a decision which whiskey I'm going to buy? I broke it down into departments. So I've got the new guy to whiskey. This video isn't really about him, but just if there isn't any newbies watching, I would start in the supermarket range. The new wall's laid out in a specific order tonight, guys, which I will go through at some point in the video. But as you can see, I have my supermarket fodder here. You've got your Glenlivets, the 12s, the Founders Reserves, the 15s. You got all your Glenfiddachs, 12s, 14s, 15s, Auchentoshan's, some Monkey Shoulder. So you have your kind of budget whiskies here, but I'm going to concentrate on guys like myself. I think the more refined kind of whiskey drinker, connoisseur, call it whatever you want. So I says to myself, how do most of the guys who are watching, how do they decide which whiskey to go and buy? And I tried to break it down into categories. So the first category that I came up with was region. So as we go through the regions, guys, we have Campbelltown. To my left, we've got some Springbanks, some Glen Scotias, and obviously you've seen my Kilkerrans before. I think they're just out of shot at the minute, but I've got a row of Kilkerrans down here. So that's my kind of Campbell. There's three distilleries on Campbelltown. It was unbelievable to believe that in the just Prohibition time they had 34 distilleries on Campbelltown. Anyone that's been to Campbelltown would probably be amazed to find that they actually had 34. They're now down to, there's 2 main distilleries, and then recently 2004, 2005, the third one came along, which was Kilkerran. So that's your Campbelltown range. We've also got the Speyside range, which is the biggest sort of group of distilleries, and it's actually in the smallest area in Scotland. So you've got your kind of Aberlours, your Cragganmores, your Glenelgins, Craigallachys. So you've got all your kind of those types of bottles. Your obviously your Glenfiddocks, your Glenlivets all come into that range as well. You've noticed there's some Macallans are missing, but you've seen all Macallans up there already. The Longmorns are not there, so they've gone back indoors in a minute. So your Balveenies, there's the usual, your Glenfarclases. You've got your usual kind of range of Speyside whiskies. Then you move on to Highland whiskies, which I've got my Glengoynes, my Glencadams, Blair Atholls, Clynelish, some fantastic distilleries. Glengoyne can be classed, obviously there's a wee bit difference with Glengoyne, is that it's distilled in the Highlands, but it's actually matured in the Lowlands. So then we'd move on to the islands, and we have your Arrans, your Highland Parks, a little bit of Jura, Talisker, Old Pultneys. I've taken my Old Pultneys back indoors as well, so you'll know all the brands. Wolfburns, there's new ones have come along. Those are key kind of islands. And then you're moving on to the Islas. Actually, when I decided to do this, I've just realised I don't have much of a collection of Islas. I tend to be more a kind of sherry head. But I do have the Islas that I do have, they're all kind of nice Islas. I've got the Lagavulin 12s, I've got the Lagavulin Jazz, Ardbeg Dark Cove committee release, Ardbeg Grooves, I've got the Ardbeg 20 something, so I do have some nice kind of Islas. I've drunk many a bottle of Eau de Gall, I've drunk many bottles of Lagavulin 16, so it's not that I don't have much to do with Islay, it's just that I seem to be buying lots of sherry whiskies, lots of bourbon whiskies, a little bit of obviously your peated whiskies. So you're looking again at your regions here, the Islas. You've got your 8 distilleries on there, your Bowmores, your Bunnahabhains, your Kilhomans. So all the brands are all there. So which brings me on to my next step. Do you buy it by region, or have you found a brand that you like? Over time, I've kind of taken a little bit to Kilkerran. I do have a fondness for Arran. I was at one point fond of the Glenlivet back in the early days. So again, how do you choose? How do you buy them? So when it comes to brand, that's where it goes next. You may have a favourite. You may have a Balvenie. It may be a Glenfiddich. It may be a Macallan. You may just buy everything Macallan. You may buy everything Aberlour. So I know a lot of people are keen on the Abuna, which is a fantastic whiskey. So again, it's do you buy it by brand? What I'm looking to get from you guys tonight, guys, I would like to really have some participation in lots of feedback. I'm throwing it back out to you guys. I would love everyone who's watching this video or taking part in this premiere to pop a comment in. How do you buy your whiskey? How do you do it? Do you do it by region? Do you do it by brand? That's taking me on to my next one. Do you do it by flavour profile? So now it gets even more complicated. Do you want to do it by sherried whiskies? Are you a fan of sherry? Do you do it by bourbon whiskies? Are you a bourbon fan? Do you like your bourbon maturations? Or are you a peathead? Do you like your peaty whiskies? So again, just looking, what I'm going to try and do, guys, is obviously your flavour profiles. Obviously from your sherries, or again, you've got your wine casks. Lots of people, a lot of brands are doing wine finishes. Arran in particular. So if you look at, I'm going to take Arran in particular, and I know it is a favourite of mine. But I did originally like Arran's because they do the wine casks. You obviously got your Amarone finish, but now you've got your Amarone cask strength finish. You've got the Sauterne finish. You've got the port finish. So there's different finishes. Now we've got Macremore. You've got Arran peated whiskies. So Arran again was founded in 1995. Distillery is now coming into its 22nd year of bottling whiskey. So they've now decided to open a peated distillery on Arran. So the Macremores have been kicking around for a few years. But again, you've got bourbon maturations in Arran. So Arran again, and it's the master blenders are just finding lots of different ways of coming up with whiskies. Again, it's becoming a minefield, and then obviously I'll go back a little bit to my history of how I got into whiskey. Some of you may have heard this story before. I did discuss it with Eric Waite. Is that I'm probably a little bit unique in the whiskey world. Is I was collecting whiskey for 7 years before I actually tried sipping any. I'd never tried a drop of whiskey, and I had over 500 bottles of whiskey in my collection, which I think is unique. You maybe pop a comment and tell me if you've done something similar. I purely got into it as an investment point. I was driving to work one day, heard an article on the radio talking about great investments. Number 2 was gold. Gold at the time, this is probably back in 2007, 2008. Gold was sky high, but it was being beaten in the investment world by one thing, and it was single malt Scotch whisky. It got my attention, so I had about an hour to drive to work. So I had this article on for about an hour the whole way to work, and I was engrossed in it. And the article stated that single malt whisky, if you were buying it and holding on to it, it would guarantee you a return, depending on how long you held on to it, different parts of the market, which brand it was, which kind of label, is it limited, all that kind of stuff. So that day I went out and I bought my first bottle of whiskey, and it turned out I actually bought a Talisker 25 for £145, and that was my first bottle. And then probably within about 6 months I had over 200 bottles of whiskey. I was having it delivered from onliners like the Whisky Exchange, from Masker of Malts. I had it from auction houses, like Scotch whisky auctions. I had it coming everywhere. It was getting delivered to work, it was getting delivered to the house. I would get a text message saying your whiskey's getting delivered in the morning. I'll go, great, the wife's at work, I'll get it delivered before she gets in. Before I knew it, I had cupboards and cupboards and cupboards of whiskey. Started buying some nice cabinets, displaying them, collecting. Special editions come out, I'd get involved in it. All of that stuff. And then at some point, because my cabinets were coming on scene, people were buying me socks and underpants and all that for Christmas. I says, listen, don't buy me socks, and I've got enough socks, I've got enough underwear. I sell menswear. So I was in that market, I was selling that product, and I was getting them from everyone for Christmas. So I told everyone, buy me a bottle of whiskey. if you want to buy me, club in and buy me a nice bottle of whiskey, do whatever you want to do. So I kept getting birthdays, Christmases, I was getting bottles of whiskey. Hence why I've got all these. These are all kind of gifts. I've got some Glenfiddocks, I've got a lot of Glenlivets, I've got a lot of Glenfiddocks, Monkey Shoulders, I've got all of this was all gifted to me. Started sampling them, started drinking them, found that I had a little taste for it, and the rest is history. So I've now, for the last 3 years, I've been drinking solidly, in moderation of course. Been drinking lots and lots of whiskey, nosing it, tasting it, building up my knowledge, looking into it. I did a lot of researching anyway while I was collecting, so I was finding which bottles I'd go out and buy and which bottles to want to look out for. I'd get on auction sites, I'd get on distilleries when bottles were being released. I'd be queuing up at 8 o'clock in the morning for something getting released at 10 o'clock. So I did all of that. So again, I'm just interested to see how you guys do it. Just popping back to flavour profiles. Do you like the dark raisins? Do you like the dried fruits? Do you like the chocolate notes? Do you like if you're bourbon casks, you're getting your vanillas and your honeys and your butterscotches and your toffees. In your coastals, you're getting your brine and your sea salt. In your Islas, you're getting your meaty notes. You're getting your smoky whiskies. How do you do it? Are you labelled into one box, or do you have bits of everything? Are you a peathead? Are you into your sherry bombs? Do you prefer your bourbon whiskies? Please drop a comment, let me know, guys. Again, the Isla ones that you tend to find a lot on that Isla. Do you like your wet dog note? Again, it's just one of those, it just seems to work in whiskey. Don't ask me how, but it happens. So do you do it by region? Do you do it by brand? Do you do it by flavour profile? We can move on again. I know we all have lots of virtual friends now that we have through YouTube. We're all in whiskey communities. We're in a whiskey circle. Do you swap samples and find out about different whiskies that way? As I say, I've just done a couple of or 2 or 3 subscriber swaps, and I've reviewed those whiskies. I've actually went and bought 2 of them since on the back of that. The old Loch Lomond being the last one. That's just arrived yesterday. Got the Loch Lomond open. Thanks again for that, Gareth. So again, that is how do you make decisions? Let me have a quick sip before my mouth dries out here. Let's have a little nose of this Glengoyne 21. Beautiful sherry. Wow. Now I know why I prefer drinking whiskey than collecting it now. Okay guys, swap samples. I know a lot of guys are swapping samples. Have you bought any bottles on the back of those sample swaps? Drop a comment, let me know. Do you shop by price? Okay, there's another ball game. I've got under £30 bottles, which could be something like, where are we? I think I've got one here. Aberlour 10, under £30. Are you going under £40? So you're probably looking something like Glenfiddich, Rich Oak, Glenlivet 15, Annock 12, a few bottles here under that price point. Are you pushing your boundaries up to £50? Could be looking something like Bunnahabhain 12, Glendronach 12, stuff like that. Are you going to go over £50? So then you're starting to head into the kind of Craigellachie cask strengths, Glengoynes. You're looking at Legacy would fall into that bracket. Do you do it by age? Are you comparing your money to age? So I would imagine is under £30 could be something like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old. £50 you may just still get some under 12-year-olds under £50. Over £50 you could pick up some 12s to 15-year-olds, and then you're hitting that kind of, you're heading over to the around about the £100 mark, maybe just under £100, and you're looking at maybe 18-year-olds. Popping over the 100, you may be hitting some 21-year-olds. So do you do it that way? Do you do it on price? Do you do it on age? Do you do it on, are you buying no age statements? Some of them are hitting the 80s, 90s, 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds no age statements. So it's, I don't know if you can see where I'm coming from. So it becomes a real minefield, and it's, I'd be really interested to know how you guys kind of tend to do your buying your whiskey. It's here we go again. Onliners, Master of Malt, the Whisky Exchange. You may have a independent specialist retailer in your area. You may drive a few miles to an independent retailers where you get the, you might pay a wee bit more for it, but you could get the expertise. You may get to try a couple of samples. Do you do it through Amazon? It's the list goes on, and on and on and on. Then we're moving into auction sites. Do you want to pick up, have you got a collection that's got maybe a bottle missing? Have you got like all the Kilkennings except a blue one, and there's a blue one at auction? Are you going to go out your way to try and get it? Are you going to pay over the odds? You see where I'm coming from, guys? So at your auctions you may pick up a bargain. There may be 8 or 9 Longmorn 16s on there, and you can pick one up for about £50-60, which is a snip. I've done that a couple of times, but there's been an auctions where I've paid £200 for one of those because it may be the only one there, or may only be a couple of bottles there. So it's how you balance out how you do it. Hard to find whiskies, making up your collections, or even just picking up a bargain at auction. Do you do that? And moving on to my final category, and this is where it really happens. Do you do it on age statement? Are you into non-age statements? Do you buy non-age statements? Do you do a Ralphie and refuse to buy non-age statements? Does it have to have natural colour? Does it have to be at a higher strength than 40% ABV? Are you a cask strength man? The whole minefield is just a phenomenal piece of work, and I think what's getting harder is there's more distilleries coming online, there's more bottles coming out. You've got different distilleries doing bourbon cask maturations, you've got the same distillery doing sherry maturations, you've got some of them mixing bourbon and sherry, you've got some of them mixing sherry and peat. So you've got heavily peated, you've got light peated. You live somewhere like Springbank, who has, they've got the 3 different brands. They've got the Springbank, they've got the Long Row, and they've got the Hazelburn. So they've all got different types of whiskey. You've got your 2.5 distilled, you've got your triple distilled. Where does it end? I hope this is making sense, guys. I know the video's getting on a little bit, but please, I'm looking for guys to get involved in this video. Please drop me a comment. If you're watching now, or you're going to watch it in a replay, please drop me a comment, even if it's just to let me know how you buy your whiskey, what preferences you have in your whiskey. Do you prefer sherry? Do you prefer bourbon? Do you prefer peat? Do you like all of them? Are you a collector, Are you just a casual drinker? I'm sure lots of guys watching now have got their own collections. I know money's important, guys, but I think the whiskey connoisseurs will go that little bit more. They'll pay a little bit more. Some guys have their limits, guys. They don't want to spend more than £50, then that's fine. Or they may pick up a sample through sample swap somewhere else and get to try some better stuff. I think once you get into this whiskey journey, and I think this is where I'm heading, is how has your journey's gone? My journey's gone that specific way, where it's went from collector now into serial sipper, and now I'm obviously reviewing whiskies on YouTube. So I'm going kind of full circle. I'm still doing a bit of dabbling in the collecting part. I'm buying lots of whiskies probably that I wouldn't have bought 3 or 4 years ago, because I'm just buying them purely to try them and drink them. They've been recommended to me, and that's where we are with that. So that's my little rant. Well, I don't want to call it a rant, but it's such a minefield that it'd be interesting to know your kind of feelings on it, guys, and how that works for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move on to the next part. I said I was going to uncork something special. I've just recently passed the 350 subscriber mark. Thanks again to everyone who's subscribed. Anyone who hasn't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? Please do me a favour, click that subscribe button. There may be something coming up for you later on in my little giveaway if you hit that button. But the bottle that I'm going to crack open tonight, I've been sitting on it for a while. This is the second bottle of this that I had. I finished the last one about 6 months ago. Went straight out and bought another one, but I've taken my time to get round to open. I've got to say, I've got that much whiskey at the minute, and it's took my time to get to this one. So without any further ado, the bottle that I'm going to crack open with you tonight is, wow, Glengoyne 25. So I'm really looking forward to this one, guys. This is going to be tasty. Don't you just know it's going to be tasty? So there we go. Let's break that seal. And one of the parts I'm really looking forward to now is this pop. Oh, look at, oh wow. How good was that? I know I've got my Glengoyne 21 here, but what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to finish this one. And I'm going to pour this 25. There's my glug. And I'm going to leave this for a bit. Wow, I can smell that already, guys. That is super. So let me just put a little topper on this. Okay. The giveaway. I'm going to give away, I'm really looking for some participation from you guys. So I did this last time when I gave my last giveaway. I asked everyone to drop me a comment on the video. It could be about anything. If you liked the video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. I'm giving you guys a thumbs up. Please do me a favour and give me the thumbs up back. If you've liked the video, if you leave a comment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let Siri pick one of you guys at random, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this little sample box off to you. As I say in here, in this little sample pack, I have Glengoyne 21. I have a Glengoyne teapot. You can probably see where the theme's going. I've got the Glengoyne Legacy. And this bottle here, I'm going to pour a sample of the Glengoyne 25 into this. As I say, the little box holds 5, so I have a spare one. So what I'll do is I'll have a look around my collection and I'll see what I can pop up into that 5th one. So all you have to do, guys, to get into the draw for one of these samples boxes is just drop a comment on the video, leave that with me, and then I'll pick one. I'll probably leave it on for probably a week, and I'll come back and I'll let the lucky person know who's done it. So that's the first giveaway. The second giveaway is, as I say, I've just reached over the 350 subscriber mark, which I'm very, very chuffed about. I'm over the moon. I want to try and kick this on another level. So I've got another box here. I've noticed out of those 350 subscribers, I know who about 200 of them are. I think some of the way some of your privacy settings are set, that you subscribe but it doesn't tell me who you are. So I've got about 150, maybe 175 that I don't know who yous are. That's fantastic, that's fine, I have no problem with that. What I'm going to do though, guys, is anybody that subscribes on the back of this video, don't have to click the bell. I know what it's like with clicking that bell, that I keep getting notifications day in, day out, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You get all these notifications. I'm happy if you don't click the bell, guys. All I'm looking to do is if you can hit the subscribe button. If you can let me know who you are, have a look at your settings, because if you don't let me know who you are, then I can't get this box to you. If you want to do that until I do the draw and then change your settings back again, I'm over the moon with that. So as I say, anybody that subscribes in the next week or so to this video, then I'll enter them into the draw to also win one of these packs. It's exactly the same as the first one, so I'll do the 5 drams again. And then the third one, and I know I'm probably pushing my luck here, but it could be a bribe, it could be whatever way you want to take it, guys. I know I'm pushing the luck, but if I can manage to get through 400 subscribers, so that could be in the next week, it could be the next month, it could be the next 6 months, it could be whatever. If I manage to hit 400 subscribers, and you need to let me know who you are. If you decide to change back after I've done the draw, you change your settings back to privacy, I'm happy with that, that's no problem. If you can let me know who you are, then I can get the box to you. The only other stipulation I can have, guys, is I need to be able to send whiskey to you. If I can't send whiskey to you, then I'll try and find if there's something else I can send you. But that would be if I go through 400, it's exactly the same pack. I'd get that off to you as soon as. So that would be fantastic, that, guys. So, wow. Look at the colour. You probably noticed now that once I've been doing these videos, I've decided to wear a white shirt all the time now, because I always find that it shows up the colour of the whiskey better. But I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to bring this right. Look at the colour of that. Isn't that the darkest thing you've ever seen in your life? It's like a real dark amber. Wow. I'm going to leave that again still. I'm going to leave it another couple of minutes and just let it open up a little bit. Let's have a sip of water. So I feel I've covered quite a bit today, guys. Over the next few videos, I am going to cover the different whiskey regions and go into them in a wee bit more detail. Don't worry, I'm still going to review some whiskey. I've not given up reviewing whiskey, guys. I'll still do that. But at the minute, I want to take the channel a little bit more into more detail, a bit more content. And it's all about the whiskey. It's all about the sharing. I just love giving whiskey away. I've got that much of it now. I just want to keep sharing it and keep sharing it and keep sharing it. And if I can share, if someone can get to try some of this, then it's been a good day. So let me just have a little taste of this now. I've been saving myself all day, and if you're still with me, guys, then I'm really thankful that you have hung on. But there's no question this is worth hanging on for. Whether you want to listen to me for 25, 35, 40 minutes is a different scenario, but it's certainly worth waiting for this. Anyway, let me just give a quick taste. I'm not going to get into any detail on it in a minute, guys, because it's just I need more. I need a whole new video to do this, and this will get reviewed quite soon. Well, it's just, the sherry is just phenomenal, but slanch. I think this is the longest pause I've ever had in a video. Guys, if you've tried this whiskey, it's just as I remember it. It's been 6 months, but it's been worth the wait. It's the most beautiful, balanced, that texture is just a thick mouthfeel. The spice, this has everything. But as I say, I'm not going to spend any time on it today. I'm lost for words, if I was being honest. I want to review it now, and but it's beautiful, and I know the rest of the night I'm going to sit. I'm going to take my time with this. So that's me finished, guys, for tonight. If you've managed to tune in with me, that's fantastic. If you're going to catch this on the replay, please don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to enter the prize draw by leaving a comment. And if you want to get the chance, possibly of winning 2 of them, is drop a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, then click the subscribe button. Remember, if you want to click the bell, fine. If you don't want to do the bell, it's no problem. And I say, I'm Alan, the Whiskey Friend, and it's been a fantastic night. I've really enjoyed myself, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks very much.